Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who loved wearing a red cape made by her grandmother. She wore it all the time, and soon everyone started calling her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother gave her a basket of fruits to take to her grandmother, who lived down the hill. She told Little Red Riding Hood not to stop on the way and not to talk to strangers. Little Red Riding Hood set off on her way to meet her grandmother. A crafty wolf saw the girl walking alone down the hill. He followed her, and on the way said, "Hello, little girl." Little Red Riding Hood stopped and turned around. She forgot her mother's words and replied, "Hello." The wolf asked her where she was going. Red Riding Hood told the wolf that she was going to meet her grandmother, who lived in a house down the hill. The wolf smiled, waved goodbye, and set off immediately. He ran to the grandmother's house and knocked at the door. The grandmother asked, "Who is it?" The wolf replied in Little Red Riding Hood's voice, "It's me, Grandma, Red Riding Hood." Grandmother said, "Ah, come in, dear. The door is open." He crawled in and wasted no time. He tied grandmother up and put her in the cupboard. He thought he would eat grandmother for supper. First, he thought, let me eat the little girl who is on her way to the house. He then wore grandmother's glasses and got into her bed. He rolled up the bedsheet up to his chin and waited. There was a knock on the door. In grandmother's voice, the wolf said, "Who is it?" Then came the reply, "It is me, Grandma, Little Red Riding Hood." The wolf said again in grandmother's voice, "Ah, come in, dear. The door is open." Red Riding Hood came inside and saw grandmother in bed. She immediately said to Grandma, "You look very different, Grandma." "Why, my dear?" said the wolf dressed up as Grandma. Little Red Riding Hood said, "What big ears you have, Grandma." "All the better to hear you with," replied the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood said again, "What big eyes you have, Grandma." "All the better to see you with," replied the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood came closer and said, "What big teeth you have, Grandma." "Ha ha ha! All the better to eat you with!" And the wolf jumped out of bed. Red Riding Hood screamed and ran outside. The noise in the house drew the attention of a hunter nearby, who immediately came to the house. He saw a wolf chasing the little girl. The hunter shot the wolf and saved Little Red Riding Hood. They heard noises coming from the cupboard and freed Grandma too. Little Red Riding Hood and Grandma thanked the hunter for helping them. And Red Riding Hood learned her lesson. She promised her family that she would never talk to strangers ever again.